Hello guys, and welcome back to another Empires and Puzzles video. So today we have the Gem Summon Challenge. So it has changed from 10 heroes to 30 heroes, and if you don't know what this is, it is basically summoning a certain number of heroes using only gems for a random guaranteed legendary hero. That's right, it is a 100% chance of getting a legendary hero, but the problem is which legendary hero that you're gonna get from this pool. And there are some pretty good ones here, like Bramble, the Woodland Fawn family, Verdi, probably Tamlin is another good one. The red and the yellow Woodland Fawn can also work. Senius is also a pretty nice one, but the other 4 owls are not very good picks. So I'll be going over probably each and every one of these heroes, and at the end of the video I'll be using some gems to hopefully get a pretty good legendary hero. So starting off from the left hand side, we have Senius. Now I won't be going over the stats and stuff, I'll just be going over the special skill. So his special skill is running at average speed, and he attacks the target and nearby enemies, dealing up to 1,100 damage, and he deals slightly more damage if the attacker, if the one receiving the damage, my apologies, is a holy element, and the special skill can never misses the target. So this is a pretty good skill, it can never miss the target. And next, after a successful cast, Blade Wings has a 100% chance of recasting on a random target, and it can recast up to 3 times, and the chance to cast is reduced by negative 35% chance after each successful cast. So this, of course, is a pretty good one, especially if you have someone like Darkfeather, for example. In fact, he was actually considered to be featured in the Gem Summon Challenge, but they swapped out last minute for the owls instead of the goblins, which is slightly worse since there was some pretty good ones in there, like Scroll Beast, Darkfeather, Grimsteel. I know a lot of free-to-play players want the ability to be able to grab Darkfeather, and I actually managed to pull Darkfeather when he was actually released, and he was actually a big game changer. And I actually saw some videos of people pairing Darkfeather with Senius, so that would be a pretty interesting combo if I do manage to get him. Timaeus, when this guy came out, he was a meta beast. So at fast speed, he has priority dispel, that's already a massive tick in the right box. He attacks 3 with Moonrise Strike, dealing up to 1,500 damage. Of course, he deals more damage if the target is of the holy element, and the special skill can never misses the target, and the target and nearby enemies get buff block for 3 turns. So the damage won't be quite as powerful when he came out, but I remember when he came out, he was like one of the best attacking heroes in the entire game. But now his stats are lacking, his damage is lacking, but he does give the dispel, and the target and nearby enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns. But personally, I wouldn't be excited to get this guy, let's just say, or I won't be leveling him anytime soon if I do manage to get this guy, so definitely not the best pick. Next one is Mariel. So Mariel is a fast speed health booster, so she can boost health of all allies by 700. The all allies will also get a Moonrise Ward for 3 turns that reduce incoming special skill damage by up to 700 hit points, and she reduces the damage by an additional 30% when the attacker is of the holy element. And lastly, she cleanses status ailments from all allies, so that is a big tick in the right box. But the thing with Mariel is health boosting, 700 fast speed is pretty good, but the thing is there are a lot of better alternatives. One is Dular Filler. She heals, this is probably important to mention, but Dular Filler does 30% of regular healing, so that she cannot boost health, but the Moonrise Ward that Dular Filler gives is 1300, and that is almost twice as much as Mariel, and Dular Furler provides the resistance to ailments. Mariel just cleanses. So I think at the same speed, they're both at fast speed, I think Dular Filler would be a better alternative. So Mariel will definitely not be the best pick. Next, we have Ominous. So at slow speed, he'll destroy all fiends from all allies. He attacks all enemies with Moonrise Strike, dealing up to 2,000 damage. He attacks more if the target is of the holy element, and the special skill will never miss the target. And all allies will gain 5% mana for each destroyed fiend. Now, out of all these heroes, this probably might be the worst one. First, he's running at slow speed. That's already not a pretty good thing, especially because he's an older hero and his skill isn't really that impactful, let's just say. Destroying fiends, it can be useful in some situations. It's just very uncommon to face fiend summoners, but if you do, that could be quite handy. The damage, when he came out, he dealt massive amount of damage, but 2,000 at this current day and age is just not hitting the correct target. And lastly, the 5% mana for each destroyed fiend is nice, but you wouldn't be able to get away with using him in defense because the enemies won't even bring any fiend summoners, and if they bring any fiend summoners, they're probably gonna bring someone like Iga, which will actually wipe your whole team. You can't really get away with using him in attack either, since he's slow speed. He doesn't really do anything that special, and the damage is just quite lacking in my opinion. So definitely one of the lower picks in my opinion from this gem summon challenge. Our next hero, and the last one from the top row or the Owl family, is Lodius. Now Lodius is a pretty interesting hero. He is of the fire element and is running at very fast speed. He'll attack the target with Moonrise Strike, dealing up to 2,200 damage, and of course he deals slightly more if the target is of the holy element, and this special skill never misses the target. If the target is defeated by the attack, the nearby enemies are unable to gain any mana for 3 turns. So it's a very strong effect when you basically prevent the enemy from getting any mana. And if you pair Lodius with some other very fast speed hitters of the red element, like maybe Flamehide or Iocantha of the Garrison Guard family, that would be a pretty good combo to use. And lastly, all allies counterattack with 60% of the damage received for 3 turns. So that is providing a little bit of protection, and I like that. So out of all the Owl families, I would go Cineas, my first pick, Lodius as my second pick, Timaeus third, Mariel fourth, and Ominous fifth. But these guys are absolutely nothing when compared to the second group of heroes, which is the woodland fawns. So starting off from the left hand side, we have Bramble. Now Bramble, when he came out, he was an absolute brute. Running at average speed, he recovers a massive 50% health for all allies. All allies will gain 25% mana for 3 turns, or immediately if the effect is removed before the duration ends, and he safely cleanses status ailments from all allies. So first off, 50% health is a very strong heal, and the 25% mana after 3 turns is just humongous. He recently also got a buff, and this is probably worth mentioning, but the Woodland Fawn family actually got a buff recently, and by recently I mean just today, like probably 12 hours ago. So they got the minion blind passive, so all enemies minions have minus 60% accuracy, and mega minions will have minus 50% accuracy. It's also worth mentioning that all of them have the resist insanity passive, and they are also they can also have the chance to resist mana reductions and mana status ailments, and they can also deal extra damage against heroes with minions and mega minions. So these Woodland Fawn family heroes are definitely one to watch out for. Next one is Verity. Now Verity is probably the first Woodland Fawn family member to have ever been released in the game. and she is a very good one considering what she does at her speed. So at very fast speed, she deals 350% damage to the target and nearby enemies. Enhanced defense ailment, the target and nearby enemies get minus 50% defense against special skill. This effect lasts until the enemy takes damage from a special skill 3 times, and after the enhanced defense ailment ends or is removed or replaced, the enemy gets minus 40% mana generation for 3 turns. So very fast speed, very decent damage. 350 to target to 3 enemies. The enhanced defense ailment is nice, minus 50% defense against special skills, and it lasts 3 times, and after it ends removed or replaced, the enemy will get minus 40% mana generation for 3 turns. So overall, a pretty good hero. You can get away with using Verity with fast speed heroes, especially if you have Guardian Hippo from the recent Soul Exchange. Pair Guardian Hippo with someone like Costume Perseus, for example, put in Verity and another fast speed blue hitter, and you'd be having a pretty solid team in my opinion. So definitely extremely useful in attacking formations. Can also be used in defense, but if you're at a slightly lower level, you wouldn't be able to get away with using Verity in defense in the top meta. So definitely a pretty good one. So in terms of woodland fawns, we've been doing pretty good so far. The next one we have Araminta. Now Araminta is a pretty good Titan hero. So running at fast speed, she deals 260% damage to all enemies. That isn't really strong damage, but it certainly is some pretty good damage. I hope what I said made sense, let's just say. So it's not really the best damage, but it's some pretty good damage. But the second part is where her special skill actually shines. So she gives a stack max 10 to the enemies, so all damage all enemies receive is increased by plus 7%, and this caps out as plus 70%. And if you pair Araminta with Hammer Clang, for example, Hammer Clang gives minus 30% plus 30% increased damage, and this one gives plus 70 increased damage. So you're gonna have yourself plus 100% increased damage. So that's probably gonna be times 2 the damage output that you'll be giving. And the last part is all allies gain 10% mana after 2 turns or immediately if the effect is removed before the duration ends. And if you aren't aware of this, there is a new strategy to Mythic Titan using heroes like Hunter, Atwood that give Insanity, Fungustine, or someone like Goose who gives Sticky Surface, the mana and the all damage and the damage increase stack from Araminta. We also have heroes like Sparklight or Alvar that gives the Reflect, the buff Reflect, I believe, and I can't really remember the other one, but it's but they use a 10 hitter like Likiu, probably another one from the Woodland Fawn family, I think his name is Isidore, and Farah, for example. So they have been implementing a new Woodland Fawn Titan strategy. So if you do get Araminta and have the correct heroes to use in the Mythic Titan that I just specified, then you will be absolutely set for extremely high scores. It's a very interesting way to play out the Mythic Titan, let's just say. Our next hero is Tamlin. Tamlin is a slow speed hero, but this guy is an absolute destroyer of worlds, let's just say. So slow speed, he deals 460% damage to all enemies. He gives the enhanced defense ailment, and all enemies get minus 64% defense against special skill, and this effect lasts until the enemy takes damage from a special skill 6 times. And after the enhanced defense ailment ends or is removed or replaced, the enemy gets silenced for 6 turns. So first off, the damage is quite impressive. I'd like to start off by saying that the enhanced defense ailment is also quite good. Minus 64% defense against special skills is absolutely no joke. and this lasts for 6 times, 6 activations, and after it ends you're gonna get silence. But where he really shines is first Rush War, where you can get that special skill fired even faster, and secondly Lucky or Cloverfield War, because if you pay attention to the last effect, after the enhanced defense ailment ends or is removed or replaced, the keyword there is replace. Once he fires twice, that effect is recasted and it is replacing the old effect, so that will trigger the silencing for 6 turns, and it's very hard to recover if you're on the defense or on the attack if you're facing Tamlin. So it's extremely hard to recover if Tamlin does get lucky or fire more than once in a battle. He is just a simply devastating hero, so you would be pretty lucky if you manage to get Tamlin. Our last hero here is Gideon or Gideon. We have a holy hero running at slow speed. Now first, he safely cleanses status ailments from all allies. He gets the enhanced dodge. All allies get plus 100% chance to dodge special skills that deal damage, and this effect lasts until the ally has successfully dodged once, and after the enhanced dodge ends or is removed or replaced, the ally recovers 56% health and 60% defense, and gets plus 60% defense for 6 turns. My apologies. So firstly, I'd like to say slow speed. He safely cleanses. He gives the enhanced dodge, 100% guaranteed dodge, but I believe this won't work against heroes where the skill or the passive states that it can never miss. So you do have to be aware of that. There are quite a few counters, just like the owls where we have talked about. But he simply acts as a delayed healer. I think you can think of this hero like that. So he is gonna dodge, he's gonna protect you from the hit, drain the enemy mana, and he is gonna recover 56% health and get plus 60% defense for 6 turns. So he acts like a delayed healer, and I think that's pretty good. The only problem is he is running at slow speed, so I personally think that he should be doing a little bit more, especially running at that speed. But if you change it to average and maybe change it to 50% defense and maybe 45% health, that would be pretty good for this hero. But unfortunately, he is running at slow speed, but he can definitely be pretty usable as a main healer, especially if you don't face any heroes that never miss. So overall, I think that the selection of heroes this time is quite good, apart from the owls. I think Xenius is fine. You can probably get away with Lodius, but that just won't be the best pick. The middle 3 here, not the best pick, but the woodland fawns, I would go with Bramble, or probably any day of the week. So hoping to get Bramble here from my 30 pulls, so we have some gems to spend. And talking about the portals to spend, the legendary troop summon is immediately disqualified. Seasonal summon, you get the chance for the perfect 10, but the heroes are just not the best. For the goblin summon, the cost is quite expensive and the rates are quite low at 0.9%. That's lower than one legendary hero, one good pull per 100 pulls, but you do get that bonus chance for the double legendary hero. So whenever you summon a garrison or a goblin hero, you'll get another one, a different one, I must mention. So that is a pretty good bonus, but at 0.9% and that cost, I just don't think it's the best portal. Our next portal is the Untold Tales portal. Now here we actually have the option to do a 30 pull, and at the cost of 8,400 gems, but the featured heroes aren't the best. We have Gellert, not the best. Atlantia, also not the best. The only one that's actually worth it, in my opinion, in this portal is probably gonna be Gestalt. so I wouldn't really recommend that as well. But the portal I would recommend is probably the Moth portal, because the odds are quite good, almost as even as the Untold Tales Mystery of the Deep portal. But as we all know, the Moth family heroes are absolutely insane. On the family bonus department, where they cast that moth dust, and they just recently, and by recently, just like the woodland fawns, they got an update like this morning, 12 hours ago. So their new skill is moth dust now has the following effects. They already have the minus 30% mana generation, but what is added is Mega Minion's current health is reduced by 50% each turn. So I would definitely love to get any one of these heroes. I did manage to pull Line Boar last time this quest was around, so hopefully we get something good here. I would be fine with the new hero Chi Mister, but mainly I am looking for some like Grover, maybe. He's not in the feature, more to which would be pretty nice, but my favorite in this part would probably be Oracark. I'll put it in Oracark and Pepper Blue, and hopefully we get something good. Drum roll, please. A red hero, we're starting off with a 3-star Azar, as we get Chi Mister. Okay, so definitely pretty excited. Almer, Ganju, Renfeld, Brienne, another Almer, a Dawa, that's like probably everyone's favorite 3-star hero maybe, and that is all for this 10 pull. We did manage to get the new hero Chi Mister though, so I am definitely gonna take that. So she is running at very fast speed. She gives some ailments, Mega Minion counter, and dispels buffs. All allies heal, so definitely a pretty solid hero. The only thing is it would have been good if she had the priority dispel, to be honest. So let's go in with our second 10 pull. Drum roll, please. I'm just gonna say the exact same thing. We get an Azar. Do we get a duplicate? No. I thought that was gonna go exactly like our last 10 pull, but that was not the case. And I think it's also worth mentioning that I did, as we get another Chi Mister. Okay, so that's pretty unluckily, yeah, I have no idea how to say that in words, but I will definitely take a second one. So let's get the second screenshot. We got both Chi Misters after Azar. I'm definitely gonna stick to this Oracark Pepper Blue strategy. Drum roll, please. I'm probably gonna say the exact same thing. This is probably the best luck I've ever got in filming a pulling video. Rose Petite, another Rose Petite. Let's see how many Rose Petites were. Shyamber, another Rose Petite, another Rose Petite, Sabina, Shyamber, Kademon, and this should be our last pull. Okay, so nothing really good on the last 10 pull, but we did get 2 Chi Misters. That was really unexpected. And lastly, let's go in with our 30 pull, with our, what's it called, with our free legendary hero. So hopefully you get something good. Looking for Bramble, Tamlin, yes, Xenius. Okay, so Xenius I think is quite good. So these are our double Chi Misters and my Xenius. So let's lock them in. Okay, so I do have Medea that I'm leveling, so Xenius might have to wait. But the reason I'm excited for this hero is that I might use him in a team like this with Demiloon, Dark Feather, and Senius. Something like this. Because Senius is a pretty good one when paired with Dark Feather, because every time you recast, that Dark Feather effect is basically gonna recycle or reload, let's just say. So I think that is a pretty good W for me. Hopefully you have better or equivalent luck with your summons, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.